Hey everybody, I'm Maddie Smith. Welcome back to another episode of the Madhouse Podcast, and happy freaking Wednesday, y'all. Let's get at it. Let's make this day the best one yet. Every day is an opportunity to change your life. Here at Manifestation Mountain, I am willing to bet that you've never looked into the wiring of your brain, but I bet I could change it with eight days of manifesting in a row. Maddy Manifest Mountain. Join now. So, you guys, I just added a July 4th show. Why the fuck did I do that? Because I love a challenge. July 3rd and 4th just announced Cleveland, Ohio in Hilarities Comedy Club. So, you know, my tour is underway. punchup.live/Maddie Smith, where you can check out all shows upcoming and see shows in your area and get on my email list so you can be notified of when I'm coming to your area. But just added Cleveland, July 3rd and 4th. Indianapolis, I'm going right there after July 5th and 6th. Indianapolis. We're also coming to San Jose, June 15th. BREA, California, June 18th. Later in June, Fort Collins, Colorado. July, I'm coming to Albuquerque. And we just added Dallas for fucking September, dude! So punchup.live/Maddie Smith, and let's get right into this episode. I sit down with comedian Zac Amico. If you're a Gas Digital fan, you know Zac. If you've been to Skankfest, you've seen Zac. But if you're not in that world, you're in for a treat because he is just a barrel of laughs. Zac Amico is a horror movie creator, fan, and he's a comedian, and he's a podcaster. You know him from the formerly Real Ass Podcast, formerly Lewis and Zac. Now it's Zac Amico's Morning Zoo, and we bring him on. We talk about his upbringing, how he got into comedy, Insane Clown Posse, and so much more. So stay tuned, check out Zac, and thank you everyone for listening to the Madhouse every fucking week. Okay? Tell everyone it's the best podcast in the world. I can't talk. Obviously, stay tuned if you want to watch some exclusive stuff. GasDigital.com. Use promo code MAD to see us shoot the shit. No holds bar. But for now, stay tuned for Zac Amico. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Madhouse Podcast. I'm joined today by an incredible guest. I've known him for many years. First time I met him was actually in New Jersey at the Meadowlands Comedy Festival.
Oh, you lucky dog.
2017 or something like that.
That sounds about right.
2016. But, you know, Zac, he's been Zac Amico, shout out, of Zac's Morning Zoo, formerly Lewis and Zac, formerly Real Ass Podcast, always Gas Digital, touring stand-up comedian, movie guru, spook show. The list goes on. Zac Amico!
Thank you for having me, sweetheart. God, we were different people in the Meadowlands Comedy Festival.
I was different. I saw you go up. I was like, because I saw you on Roastmasters before, but I never met you in the flesh. And all your friends were there. You had a lot of friends there in the audience.
Yeah, I'm from Secaucus.
Yeah, so you were like in standing ovations.
Yeah, it was
It was crazy. I don't know if you
man,
remember.
I wish they paid.
Yeah, I know. And then he calls me. He'll call me like every few years.
He calls me every year.
Yeah.
And goes, I can't pay you.
Yeah.
He's like, wait, I can give you a free spot on a Tuesday.
Doggy.
And I'll be like, you're charging.
Doggy.
He charges at the door.
So why can't you pay? Why can't you pay?
He charges at the door. Does it in my hometown.
Yeah.
I get all people from my hometown to come. He goes,
Yeah.
I took a bath on the other shows.
Yeah, and you know, the show we did was in a restaurant, I think, but most of them are in a hotel, the Meadowlands.
Yeah, I think ours was in a Chinese restaurant.
Yes, and they usually do it at the Holiday Best Western or something, Meadowlands.
Well, that's how he got me the first time. He goes, if you do good on this show,
yeah,
you can do the showcase on Sunday.
In the hotel.
In the hotel, which also didn't pay.
Right. Yeah. He's a little scammer. Shout out Joe.
That's what comedy is.
But that's the name of the game.
Yeah, that's 100%. That's how he makes his thing. That's fine.
Yeah, it's all fine. We did not mean to start off on a Meadowlands Comedy Festival rant, but here we are.
There's much worse than him.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And you're making money doing comedy.
Yeah.
Left and right.
I'm doing okay.
Yeah. You get paid for freaking go to an Insane Clown Posse festival.
That's fun.
You get paid to go to porn stuff.
No, I don't do anything with pornography.
Oh, I thought you were doing adult film stuff. Like,
I would never.
Oh, I would never.
Not me.
Neither would Ralph Sutton.
No, I don't do. I dabble in exploitation film, but that is not pornography.
Okay, got it.
No pink, no insertion.
No pink, no insertion, just tease.
Yeah.
Tease.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tease, occasional V's.
Okay, yeah.
And if there's P, usually me.
You're a P.
Yes.
You're
yeah.
a penis.
No, I don't. With mine, I don't think it's called hanging dong.
Yeah.
But I have been nude in more than one film.
Oh, it's sitting.
Yeah.
Resting.
Nesting.
Resting cock face.
Nesting. Nesting up. Like the same way the caterpillar sits on the mushroom in Alice in Wonderland.
Absolutely.
That's my dick across my balls. So, hello.
Yeah, exactly.
I actually figured out what my dick looks like. My dick looks like
I could have told you.
Peppa Pig's dad.
Okay, yeah. And Peppa Pig, very pink.
Yeah.
The whole family's pink.
But Peppa Pig's dad has the little hair, the little beard.
All right, let's get a photo of Peppa Pig's dad so I can know what to think about later tonight. Peppa Pig's dad. And you know what my pussy looks like? Peppa Pig.
Very good.
Yeah. Pink.
Peppa Puss.
You got pink shit? Oh,
Yep,
yeah.
Yeah, that's my genitals.
Where's the piercing, though, Zach?
Well, if he had a nose ring.
Okay, yeah. So you got a piercing right through the tip of your cock?
Through the urethra and out the bottom of the head.
Jeez, what the fuck? What made you want to do that? I mean, obviously you have piercings and
I've always
tattoos
wanted
galore, and
the second I found out that was a thing you could do, for some reason it's always clicked for me.
Mm-hmm.
I think at first it was just a good reason to take my dick out.
Right. Absolutely.
The same reason girls get their nipples. Like, no girl gets her nipples pierced and keeps it to herself.
No, if I got my nipples pierced, it would be full bing, bing.
Yeah.
Every day.
And then I found out you could do and then I saw there's a movie called Strangeland, directed by Dee Snider, the singer from Twisted Sister.
Mm-hmm. I know Dee Snider.
And
we follow each other.
In that, his son did comedy for a while.
Yes.
For a while, in that movie, he plays a modern primitive who's a guy with all tattoos and piercings and shit. And he kidnaps a guy and gives him a penis piercing.
Got it.
To me, I was like, I've always wanted that. So, yeah, when I turned 18.
Right when you turned 18?
A few months into being 18, yeah.
Wow.
I actually got one when I was 16.
Where?
It through my dick, but not through the head. It was a surface piercing through the skin.
Okay.
I got it on St. Mark's Place, back when you could sneak onto St. Mark's Place without an ID and get pierced.
Yeah.
And I went into one shop, and I asked for Prince Albert, and they're like, we need ID. And I was like, I don't have it. And then I get out. And I guess the guy at the shop across the street saw the interaction, and it was a big African guy.
He said, you.
And he goes, my friend, you want body piercing?
You want piercing on your little cock?
And he had it was a sliding door. It was a sunglass pavilion.
Okay, yep.
That had a sliding door with a little piercing parlor in the back.
Wow, the motherfucker pierced a child's dick.
And he did it. He had to take out a book because he didn't know what it was.
What the piercing you wanted was?
Yeah, and he wouldn't do the Prince Albert.
You couldn't just say shaft skin?
Because he was scared. Well, I wanted a Prince Albert.
Right.
But he was scared to do that one. He was scared.
Right.
So he did that one because he said he was more comfortable with it.
And was your dick soft when it?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, I don't know.
He actually told me, he goes, you have to pull it out more. And I was like, it doesn't come out anymore.
Doggy, this is as far as it goes.
And then when you're 16 and that happens, maybe you take your dick out too much. And then your mom's best friend calls her and says that she heard you had your dick pierced. And then your mom starts screaming at you. And then you try to call her bluff. And you go, I'll show you right now. She goes, no, we're going to the doctor.
You took your dick to the doctor?
No, I took it out in the bath. I went to the bathroom and took it out.
Okay, got it. Nice. So took that one out.
Yeah.
Waited a couple years.
Waited till I was 18 and got my PA.
Did you ever have any infections related to?
Nope.
Okay, wow, nice.
No, I mean, it's a hard thing to get infected because, especially the PA, because you're pissing on it every day.
Right.
So you're disinfecting
Antibiotic. Yeah.
And believe it or not, when you get your dick pierced, you take pretty good care of it.
Right.
Like you're aware of it.
Right. Yeah.
And then I started. I think at a 10 gauge. And then I started stretching it. The highest I ever got up to was a 2.
Okay. I don't know what the 2 is bigger than 10.
Yeah.
Is that a stupid question?
Yeah, it goes, most piercings you see are like a 14, and then 10 is bigger, then it goes to 2, 0, 00, and then after that it's millimeters. Just search 2-gauge captive bead ring,
Okay.
and that's what I had. I downsized a while back due to a request from Mrs. Amico.
And what size are you dealing with now?
I have, I think, an 8.
Okay, a little in between.
Yeah.
between?
The 2, yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
So you got that in your dick.
I had that, and but Mrs. Amico found it quite unpleasant during oral times
For her, for
her.
in her mouth.
Yeah. She said it was too.
Why her tongue was slipping through the hole?
No, it's a lot of metal.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I could see that.
And for a while when we first got together, I think I had a 4, but the bead was loose.
Okay.
And one time we were having sex, and she was on top. And I will say, my wife and I, very sexually compatible.
Let's go.
A lot of finishing at the same time.
Nice.
And
Explosive.
middle of the night, good sex. She's on top. I pull out after I'm done. And no ring.
Oh, it's up there. You gotta dig for gold.
And then she stands over the bed, and the ring falls out.
Oh.
And we go, thank God.
Boing.
And then I went, oh no, the ball's still in there.
Oh.
So
You had to go to the hospital?
We thought we had to go to the hospital.
You just went in there, dig
It was
for
about
change?
3 in the morning. We did not want to make this trip to the hospital.
Absolutely not.
So she had a squat, and I had to take 2 fingers. And the thing about trying to grab a metal ball that's up somebody's pussy,
Yes.
Maddy,
Tell me.
is you can't pinch it
Right.
because it'll.
Oh, yeah, it keeps getting.
Yeah, you can't grab it.
Right.
So what I had to do was get it on the side of it and walk it down the wall.
Dude. And she came again.
No, dude, I'll tell you what. You wanna see a pussy dry in real time.
Oh, yeah.
Tell a girl there's a piece of metal stuck up there.
Yeah, and I have to slide it down
and
your
I have
vaginal
to slide
wall.
it. I have to walk it down the wall.
Yeah.
And boy,
Yeah.
any sense of moisture.
It's over.
Her pussy was like, when SpongeBob's dying.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Water! You're Sandy running around. Hey, I just got to get this ball out of your pussy, SpongeBob. Okay, so then you went down. Then you went down to 8.
Yeah. I knocked it back down a little.
Were you always really into gore and edgy? I would say dick piercing. You're the only person I know with dick piercing.
No,
Not to brag.
I don't think it's edgy or anything. I think it's just
I think it's badass.
me.
It's just who I am.
No, I have no concept of like people. I think I've used the term like edgelord and shit, but like those are the things I like.
Right.
Like I've always liked comics and horror movies and like dark shit, like true crime. Like it's just what appeals. It's not a conscious decision.
Right. You're not like, I'm gonna go crazy.
I've had more people walk in and be like, "What are you reading?" And I'll be like, "Oh, it's a book called Sex Crimes." And they're like, "Why?" And I'm like, "Because it's interesting to me."
Right. Were your parents really? Are your parents very like? Were they showing you horror stuff from a young age?
Not to the degree I like, but like when I was a kid, my aunt and uncle showed me the first Child's Play, and that was a big deal.
What is that? I don't know what that is.
Chucky.
Oh, okay, Chucky, yeah.
And then probably like early developmental, like 8 or 9, my dad showed me Halloween and The Shining.
Okay.
And that's what like got it going.
Nice. The Shining's a good one.
By like 5th, 6th grade, I was like hardcore into horror.
Okay, got it.
But no, my especially my mom's side is ultra like they get mad if somebody says crap on TV.
Really?
Yeah, like
Are they Jersey conservative?
I wouldn't call them conservative or religious or anything like that.
Pearl clutching a little,
Yeah,
respectful,
just very,
polite.
Very embarrassed.
Okay.
Just oh God.
Oh my God.
Oh Lord, Zachary.
What, did they raise you Catholic? Were they Catholic?
No, we were Protestant.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, and
Anglo.
everything was very, no Comedy Central in the house.
Okay.
Zachary, no Comedy Central at your grandmother's.
But you were able to watch The Shining and stuff like that. But maybe some channels were more restricted.
I wasn't, dude. And in hindsight, maybe they were right. I wasn't allowed to watch all that
Oh, wow.
because my mom said it was too dirty.
Well, it was. There was a lot of
Now,
feet. Yeah.
by the way,
Looking
maybe
back, dirty as
hindsight.
fuck. They're throwing up. They're eating the throw up. There's shit. There's feet.
But
Amanda
yeah,
Bynes.
everything was kind of like pretty off. Like to this day, like if a movie has a sex scene in it, my mom gets very upset. Like
Really?
I told my mom and my grandma used to go to the movies every week, and I saw The Wrestler, which I was like, this is a
Classic.
great movie,
Classic.
absolutely awesome. And they saw it, and my mom goes, "It was fine, Zachary, but the SCX was a little much." And I was like, "The sex scene was 5 seconds, like."
The
It-
SEXSCENE.
Yeah. And if you remember, the sex scene in that movie is like 5 seconds. It's a
Yes.
cutaway gag.
Yeah. Quick.
And she's Zachary, that was a lot.
That was a lot.
And then the first time she saw a movie I made or that I worked on that had a sex scene in it, that wasn't me. It was a lesbian scene, but they had a blanket on the bottom half.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just boobs.
Okay.
And my mom cried.
Oh,
And she full on cried.
wow.
And went, Zachary, you made a porno?
Oh, you know we're Protestants, Zachary.
Zachary, I can't be showing. You can't tell anybody about this.
You're like, Mom, it's exploitation.
Or it's just
Huge difference.
a horror movie. Like it's just a regular horror
Yeah, it has
movie.
nothing to do with.
Yeah, but my mom, because my mom works at the Olive Garden, and
Really?
she'll don't. I'm not bragging. And
I'm-
she'll come on. You know who I saw? And it's always. I don't know if your moms do this. It'll be somebody like, guess who I saw, and it'll never be somebody relevant.
No.
It'll
Yeah.
be like, I saw your cousin's preschool teacher's sister.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be like, I never would have guessed that. and then she'll go, well, she remembered you. She remembered you were a little boy with glasses. And she saw somebody, and she goes, and they heard you were working on movies and comedy now. And they asked what to look up, and I said I didn't know.
Oh.
And I went, why? You know the name of my stuff. And she goes, Zachary, God, what if they fucking Google it?
Oh my God, Mom's a hater.
Oh yeah, she doesn't like it.
Wow.
She actually just went to a movie premiere a few months ago, and I think when she saw it in a theater full of people,
Mm-hmm.
it was more acceptable because she saw people wanting like
Yeah.
pictures
Yeah.
and like
Little meet and
interviews
greet.
and shit.
It's a morale boost for sure.
So that I got to introduce her to people,
Yeah.
and like that I think made it a little more palatable.
Mm-hmm. My son. Oh, my son's a working actor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and then it's such my mom. It was a movie I had. It was a big cat. Ian's in it too.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Bring on the Damned. And the director's daughter is 8 years old, and she had a cameo in it.
Nice.
And that's the only person my mom wanted to talk to. She ran over to him.
Really?
You were so good in the movie.
You were good. Can I save
Can I get you an autograph?
Can I save you?
Yeah.
And then your dad, does he
He
like
digs
your
it.
stuff? Are your
He-
parents
he
together
did-
or separated?
No. My dad left when I was in high school.
Mm-hmm.
But my dad gets it. It took him a while. He didn't get the whole working for free at a thing.
Yeah.
For both comedy and movies.
And movies,
Like,
yeah. Did you start right out of high school?
No, I went to
Comedy?
college.
Where'd you go to college?
NYU.
Really?
Yeah.
Zach, I didn't know that.
No, but it was art school,
Fucking
not
Timothy
real school.
Chalamet over here.
Art school, not real school.
What'd you major in?
Film.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, film and TV.
Wow. That's so fun. Little city slicker.
And
Hanging out with the Nepo babies.
it's a weird way to go to college.
Yeah.
You don't have a campus.
I know, it's just a city.
Yeah, so you're just
So,
loose in the city. And
Did you
like,
commute or did you stay in the city?
I lived in the city.
You lived in the dorms and
Yeah,
stuff?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and my dad definitely didn't get it. Like when I started working with the horror companies and stuff, and you're an intern, you work for free and you
Oh,
clean
yeah,
toilets.
yeah.
And he's like, I don't know, maybe I'll fire the guys at my shop, get some interns.
Oh my God, I don't. Hilarious. Yeah, my mom, my parents would be haters.
And
when
that
I
was my
started.
grandma too. Everything. If I would like talk about projects I was working on, Zachary, are you getting paid
That's-
for any of
they
this
always,
work?
Where's the? My mom would say, "Where's this all going?" To this day, my mom will say, "People ask me, is she still doing that?" I tell them, "I guess so."
Yeah. Oh, same. Same. I've had recently family members be like, "So you still doing comedy?"
Yeah,
And I'll be like,
Yep.
"Yeah, and I'm doing okay."
yeah. Actually, I'm doing really well.
Yeah, like
I have a small business.
yeah, I gotta have like financial shit. Like
Yeah.
I make money.
I know I have a business manager, but yeah, it's just a little hobby.
Yeah, that's well, so you done with that yet? Or
Yeah, right.
you're gonna find something
As
real?
if anyone else would hire me after all
As
this.
if I have any skill.
I have no prospects.
I'm
stuck.
37. I haven't had a real job in so long.
Yeah, me neither. If I tried,
And if I did, the last real job I had was bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was fucking, I worked for MTV for a while doing production shit, but, like, if anyone knew what a scam that was,
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
like how lazy production people are.
Oh, yeah. Lazy as fuck. At Wild and Out, you'd ask them to do something, they'd be like,
Dude, if my dad knew that I worked in an office where every office had a couch in it for if you felt like taking a nap,
he'd be pissed.
his head would explode.
He'd be livid. Why? Because he works in a shop of sorts?
He works in a fucking welding shop.
He's a welder. Okay.
Yeah. My dad's he's been a welder. He had his own welding company, and then he became like a supervisor at another one.
Super dad job.
But like, I remember my dad being like, you know, you can't ever sit down at work, and if your hands are in your pockets, you're fired.
Yes. Very.
Like that real, like, he goes, if the boss comes by and your hands are in your pockets, you go home for the day.
You might as well leave.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to be here.
Yeah.
Hands in your pockets.
Zachary, a man can't make a living on 40 hours a week. 50, 60 minimum.
80. That's what
My
I'm
dad
saying.
worked Monday through Saturday.
But you basically put every single hour of your day into your comedy career.
Yes, but
That's how it is.
that's different.
Right.
They don't. That's not clocking in,
What's your mom's job?
clocking out. Well, I'm still at the Olive Garden.
Oh, Olive Garden. Yeah. Okay.
But
Remarried.
yeah, they just don't. I don't think they think, or like I used to work nights, being a doorman and selling tickets at a comedy club, and my family just didn't get why I was tired.
Right. Because you're working at night.
And I would show up, and they'd be like, "What time did you get up today?" I'd be like 3, and I could never sleep in the way you do.
Oh, God. Slug.
Yeah,
He's a slug.
yeah. Be like, I go to bed at 9 in the morning.
Does that affect you? Did you ever, like, growing up or after high school and when you decided to major in film, were you like, did you have to go to therapy? Like, oh, my parents. Did you ever go to therapy?
I am in therapy.
Yeah.
I had to go. I was forced into therapy.
By whom, Mrs. Amico?
No, the New Jersey public school system.
What? When you were in high school?
Somebody had to take a mental evaluation to
What?
make sure they were safe to be around other people.
What? Because you were so crazy?
I didn't
What were
think
you
so.
doing? Bringing freaking pepper spray into school and stuff?
No,
No,
okay.
I just shot up the school.
So
I had to go to therapy.
did not get along with my vice principal's daughter, who was in my high school.
Okay.
She was a cuntaroony.
Okay.
And so he would go out of his way to fuck with me. And this was the time of Live Journal and Zanga.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Shit like that.
Yeah. Wild West.
Now, I never went on it in school, but someone, and even though it was password, like you had to be my friend, someone printed it out, sent it to the child study department, and I get called to the office one day, and it's my mom, the vice principal, and 2 psychologists, and they have my entire last year of journal entries.
God.
I mean, talking about, like,
Yeah, what were you saying in there?
trying to get laid,
Okay.
going to party, like, not anything crazy. Like,
Well,
I
you
wasn't
know.
a bad kid.
Or were you 9th grade, 10th grade?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't a bad kid by any means, but they just, you know, and at the time, I didn't know I wanted to be a comic, but I was obsessed with, like, O&A and shit.
Okay. Opie and Anthony.
And I was definitely mimicking or parroting Jim Norton's rant blog. He used to do blogs that were like these long rants.
Yeah.
And I was doing that.
Right.
Like, just super, like, over the top, you know, suck a camel's dick.
Yes,
type,
yes.
You know?
Saying stuff just to say stuff.
Yeah.
And you said, guys, you guys don't know Opie? You guys don't know Kumia? Come on.
And I just walked into a firestorm. My mom was sobbing.
When you walked into the office, did you know, like...
I had no idea what I was going in for. And I walked into just...
Your mom was crying.
D-Day. My mom's sobbing.
They're so dramatic.
While they read it.
They read it?
They read the whole thing.
The whole thing?
And then I was told that I needed to take a mental evaluation to see if I was safe to be around the other students. So I had to go to this fucking therapist, like, place in the woods.
Hilarious.
And do 2 full days of testing.
Yes.
And they were like, yeah, he's got an authoritarian complex. But other than that, he's a normal guy.
He's
But I
fine.
still had to go to therapy.
Okay, got it. Same place
And
in the
I
woods?
had a therapist closer to home.
Okay.
But then, yeah, I basically had to get a permission slip from the therapist to say I was safe.
Jeez. Was that the 90s, early 2000s?
That would be early 2000s.
Yeah, so you graduated high school probably 2005 or something
That's
like
exactly
that?
when I graduated.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So then you graduated. You're like, fuck this. I'm going to NYU.
I always wanted to go. I didn't apply anywhere else.
Really?
Yeah, I did early admission.
NYU is a pretty good school, so you probably had good SATs and stuff.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did you like school or were you?
No, I hated it.
Okay.
I hated it, and I didn't study.
But you're smart.
I bullshitted. It's complete bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
It was just. I've done this on Argue Garbage before. I'm a good test taker. I test well.
Okay. Nice.
I'm good at picking what I think the right answer is.
Okay. Yeah.
And then defending it.
Did you take the ACTs?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. And I think I have the Argue Garbage SAT record.
Really? What's your
1410.
SAT score? Really?
First
Zac,
try.
1300 for me. Good job.
Very good.
Good job.
Good for
Yeah,
you.
but not 1410.
Whatever. That's fucking close.
Freaking. I guess you're a little older. They probably made the questions harder after.
Yeah, no, and then it was the only. I said if I didn't get into there, I wasn't going to go to school.
Mm-hmm. Then you went there. Did you go? So when you got to New York, NYU, were you going to comedy shows? Like, would you go to like the Cellar and stuff, or
No,
were you mostly just working and?
It's funny. I never went because, and this is in hindsight really funny. Sometimes your parents lie to you, and you don't realize it till later.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, this is a conversation I had the other day. Up until like the last year, I completely believed that it was illegal to have the light on in the car.
Oh yeah, me too. Me too.
Did we have this conversation?
I don't know if we did, but me too.
And my mom, I would put it on, and my mom, Zachary,
we're gonna get arrested.
We'll get pulled over and go to jail.
I can't see anything.
Yeah. And to this day, I just found out that that's not true.
I just found that out as well.
And when I was a kid, I would ask to go to comedy shows, and my mom told me that you can't go to comedy until you're 21.
Oh, okay.
Because they serve alcohol.
Okay.
So I didn't try to go to a comedy show because in my head, I thought it was like a bar.
Right.
And I was going to get ID'd at the door.
Hey, some shows are 21 plus. Maddy Smith, comedy.com. Shout out.
I have them put that on my.
Yeah, mine is. Mine says 21 plus.
I put adults only.
Yeah. I'll occasionally, a little 16-year-old in the front.
Yeah.
I say, what's up, fucker? You ever get a blowjob?
Oh, what's the youngest kid you performed for?
I think there's been under 10.
I think mine's like 6 or 7.
Yeah.
And I've said like, hey.
Yeah.
This is on you guys. I'm not changing my act.
I'm not changing my act. I'm about to talk about my pussy.
And
Enjoy
yeah,
or
it
don't.
was, dude. It was I tell a story all the time. It was an LOL, and for people who don't know, it was like this tourist trap comedy club.
Like
they would sell tickets on the street and lie to everybody. Everybody that came in was there to see a different famous person who was not there.
And it would be like Tina Fey.
Yeah, Tina Fey, Tracy Morgan, Eddie Murphy,
Kevin Hart.
Yeah. Most people that didn't do stand up. Tina Fey, Eddie Murphy, yeah. Seth MacFarlane.
Yes.
was a big one. Or Cast the Family Guy.
Seth Rogen, Paul Rudd.
And one day, I'm waiting to go on, and a very well-dressed, I would say upper middle class black family walks in. And they go, "Hi, we have tickets to the Cleveland show." And they had a little 4-year-old boy. And in the back, he was dancing. He goes, "My name is Cleveland."
No
He was doing the dance.
They told him the Cleveland show.
He told him it was a Cleveland show showcase.
My God, perfect people to market that to.
Yeah. I always wondered that because you would meet tourists when I was selling tickets, and they'd be like, "We have tickets to Family Guy," and it would be like Dangerfields.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, "What do you think?
We've gone to see Family Guy.
Do you think they draw the cartoon in front of you?"
Right, we see Peter, Lois.
Yeah.
I love Chris.
Yeah.
I love Chris. He's so funny. He reminds me of my son.
But yeah, I thought it was illegal to go to comedy shows, so I didn't start going. I saw
illegal, yeah.
What was my
comedy.
first stand-up? I think the first stand-up show I saw was Jim Jeffries' first special taping.
Okay.
And that was at NYU at the Skirball Center.
Wow.
And I went to that.
That's cool.
And then I saw Bob Saget's taping too.
Oh, wow. And then for both of those, were you like...
I thought it was the coolest. That was right around when I was like, I think I really like comedy, but it didn't occur to me to do it.
Yeah.
And then my senior year of college, I took a class called The History of New York Comedy. It could have just been called Jews.
Literally. Oh, my God. So what's up with the bagels these days? They're getting smaller.
And the teacher basically was like, for your final, you can either do a paper or do 5 minutes of stand up.
Boom. Easy.
And I was like, I'm gonna do that.
Easy.
And then when I got there, it was we went to the Eastville on 4th, where New York is now,
Yep.
the Eastville on 4th, and we went during the day and got a comedy lesson, and it was
Who's teaching?
Dante.
No way. Dante Nero?
It was Dante Nero.
That's hilarious. Big fucking. Talk about,
And,
talk about a gauge right through his ear. Little horn. through his
Ramsey
ear.
Moore, who's passed away.
Okay.
And then they had other people come to talk to us, and it was Dave Smith and Justin Silver.
No way.
And they said, we're going to get a real famous comic to headline the show. So we all had to do 5 minutes. They put us in an order. And then right after me, they went, ladies and gentlemen, Big J. Okerson,
No way.
who I was a fan of.
Zach, that's so crazy.
So then
You went up to Jay and said, I'm huge.
I went up to him. I was like, I'm a big fan. And we just sat and talked for a minute. And his manager was the guy running the show.
Oh, okay.
His old manager.
Mm-hmm. What was his name?
Wayne.
Okay.
And I said to we wound up becoming friendly. And he said, how long have you been doing stand-up? I was like, this is my first time.
I'm in school.
Yeah. And he's like, well, listen, I think you should do this.
Nice.
Here's my info. And he would put me up sporadically. And I would just bomb at these showcases. Because I'd never done, I didn't know what I was doing.
A little different than
I had
the
done
NYU
like
class.
4 mics.
Yeah.
And I got up on club shows.
Right. Insane.
And I'm just, I mean.
Yeah. Were you nervous or you were like.
horrified.
Yeah, horrified.
I should have never been close to a microphone. And then I wound up having my roommates all bounce, and I owed a ton of money.
Okay.
So I texted Wayne. I was like, I need a job. Do you have it? I thought like a server or
Were
a
you
bartender
graduated
or
by
something.
now?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I was out of school for like a year and change. And I was broke. And I was like, I need a job. He's like, well, you could sell tickets and work the door.
Mm-hmm.
And I did that for a couple years, and then I would eat checks every night.
Perfect job.
And that was boot camp for me.
You got to get one of those. So you go up there basically every night.
Yeah, and I would get up and I would just die.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's, for people that don't know, eating checks on showcase shows in clubs,
I got like a
they will
traditional
drop the check in between the last 2 comics, and then a young comic has to go up and kind of do material while people pay their bills.
It's like, and they would they had like, you would like watch people talk about strategies for the check spot. They're like, focus on this part of the room because the checks are going to drop in a wave. So you want to focus here and then get everyone going here and then do crowd. They don't have these traditional check spots anymore.
Yeah.
But back in the day, it would be like a rite of passage.
Yeah, I know Soder did it for years at stand-up, I think.
Yeah, my first check spot was stand-up New York.
Yeah.
Bombed!
Yeah, and then like bombing for people doing math.
Yes.
Sucks. And then when you really bomb, because the thing about a check spot is if it's a light show, the check spot's quick.
Yes. Quick
if
drop.
If it's
packed,
the check spot, you could be stuck up there.
Papers are flying.
You could be stuck up there for a while.
Yeah.
And like you have 5 minutes of material, maybe, and you got to stretch it to 12.
Yes. I feel like it makes you good.
And the worst is I've had this a few times where people start yelling the bill at you.
What do you mean? Like
$23? You're trying to do your act, and you just, from the audience, you just hear somebody yell at you, $15 for a Heineken?
Oh, my. Yeah, because they're all pissed off.
Yeah, because they got the bill,
broke.
and it's always half the time. A, because it's expensive. B, because half of them aren't from New York.
Yeah.
And they've never seen New York Manhattan prices.
So they're saying popcorn, Heinekens, tickets for this fat fuck.
Yeah, I remember.
I owe $120.
I remember the first time I went to a club. The first time I did that the show at Eastville, and my friend was mad that PBRs were $5.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds and great. That he had to buy 2.
I'll take 6.
And he was like, "What do you mean I have to buy 2?"
Right. I know the 2-drink minimum is. I didn't know about that until. I
served and bartended at LOL for a while, and a lot of people pretend to not know what that means.
2, so I can just get a cup of water.
Or, dude, when I used to sell tickets, and there's a 2-drink minimum. Oh, we get 2 free drinks? Nope.
That's so funny.
I'll tell you, this is the funny. I had a couple, older couple, probably in their 50s, and I sell them tickets. And I go, now guys, there's a 2-item minimum. It could be drinks, it could be food, whatever you want. but that's just, the rules of every comedy club. And they go, oh, so we get 2 things? I was like, no, you got to buy 2 drinks. You get an appetizer and a soda. Whatever you want. There's got to be 2 items. Most clubs do drinks, but we actually include food if you don't drink. I'm like, okay. And the show's about 45 minutes. They come back up to me as the show starts, and they go, hey, we need our money back. And I was like, oh, well, guys, what happened? They said we got to buy 2 drinks. I said, well, yeah, I just explained that to you guys. And they went, yeah, we went to the bar up the street and got 2 drinks.
What?
And then we went to the show, but they said we had to buy them there then.
Are you so retarded?
I was like, did you think you just needed 2 drinks in your body?
I need to be 2. Yeah.
And they went, well, we thought, we just wanted some laughs.
That's so funny. 2 drink minimum. You got to be a little tipsy before you come in here.
Yeah. They thought I was telling them to go do shots.
That's so funny.
And they were adults. They were
logic.
Adults who were allowed to vote.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's crazy.
I mean, I bet I could tell you who they voted for, but...
Yeah, Kamala. Fucking libtards. Zach, what was your first, big break? So you're doing comedy for a little bit after school and also doing film stuff, right?
Yeah.
What was your first big break in either of those?
Excuse me. Movies, it was... I worked at the company. I still work for Trauma as an intern for years. I quit because it was getting to be too much with being up all night at the comedy club and then going there during the day. And then they put out an ad that they were doing auditions for a movie. And they knew me already, so they set up a time for me. And I was supposed to have a monologue. But instead, I just told the story of how I've always wanted to die in a movie.
Okay.
And then I scream, and I have a big scream. And they had given me a piece of paper to fill out, and one of the things was, are you willing to do nudity? And I wrote, yes.
Yes, please. I'm actually not willing to do clothed.
They called me, and they're like, are you serious about that? And I was like, oh, absolutely. And they're like, can you do another audition naked tomorrow?
Oh, my, fully naked?
Yeah.
Oh.
And I was like, yeah, sure. And the audition I did was, so there, in trauma movies, there's this effect called the meltdown, which is where you take Brahmo seltzer, which is kind of like Alka-Seltzer, but it bubbles up more, and you crush it up in the packet, and then you have water and green food coloring. You combine them in your mouth, and you explode green.
Yeah, like an exorcism.
Yes. And I did that complete. I show up.
You brought it?
No. They had it.
Okay.
They said, will you do the meltdown? Because they knew that I had worked there. They said, will you do a meltdown naked? I went, yeah, sure. And I get there, and the Village Voice is there filming.
What?
They're filming a documentary, and they're writing a article for the Village Voice. And so there's all cameras everywhere.
Oh, my God.
And I did it.
You're buck naked?
I got completely naked and did it.
Ass out.
And then that weekend, I had to work for my dad doing event security on something. And I was naked in the Village Voice.
Oh, my God.
And they called me, and they're like, hey, we think you got the part. And at this point, I was selling tickets in Times Square. And I was in Times Square, and I got a call. And they said, hey, you got the part. Also, our second assistant director just quit. Would you maybe want to talk to us about doing that?
Both?
Because you're a comedian, and a second AD needs to do crowd control.
Right.
And I went, sure. And they went, well, this was a Thursday afternoon.
Okay.
They went, we're leaving for Buffalo on Monday.
Boom.
Will you move to Buffalo?
Really?
And I was living with a girl.
I didn't know you lived in Buffalo.
We was for like a couple months.
Oh, wow.
And I was living with a girl at the time. And I went, signed the contract, and said, I'll see you Monday morning.
Did they say what money would be? Did you?
Nope.
Oh.
And I'll tell you, I mean, I'll be honest with you, it was $100 a week.
Oh.
Yeah.
Damn, I thought you were going to say $100K.
And,
$100 a week, okay.
And it was a $500,000 movie.
That's
Yeah, it was not livable, but I had a little bit of cash at the time stored up, and then my dad threw me a little bit of cash to cover my rent. And I went home to the chick I was living with, and I said, I'm out.
I'm out. I'm going to the 716.
And we had been together for like 7 years.
What?
And you
didn't say like you want to come with me? Or?
I did. She didn't want to.
She's out. She's out. Okay.
She didn't want to.
7 years is crazy.
And
like since high school you were together? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We started dating the end of my senior year of high school.
Was she pissed?
Oh yeah, we did. They didn't let that killed it.
Yeah.
We had broken up twice at that point,
Yeah.
and then gotten back, and we were living together at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, when I got back, she moved out.
Wow.
But
Over it. You still see her or no?
Oh no, we haven't spoken in years.
Yeah.
I wish her the best. I wasn't a good dude at the time. Like I was
yeah.
I was a scummy dude.
Early
So
20s.
yeah, I did a lot of things she didn't deserve, and I'll take full credit for that.
Wow, that's the first I've heard a man say that.
What's the point of being mid? If anybody ever tells you everyone they ever dated was abusive or a psycho,
Red flag.
that's their fault.
Red flag.
And
Yeah.
like I will admit, every bad thing that's happened to me with chicks is because I drove them to it.
Nice. I love that. I love that.
It's like I did it. It's my fault.
Every relationship that's crumbled with me has been the guy's fault. So, fuck yeah.
I can't not say. I don't know. I have no resentment. I don't have any resentment in
That's
my life
good.
for anybody.
That's healthy.
And it's the one healthy thing about me. And, and so yeah, I just went up and I did the movie, and I wound up having a blast. And
Was it summer in Buffalo or winter?
Summer.
Okay, good.
And I had so much fucking fun. And then that became 2 movies
Okay.
because they wound up financing a sequel right away.
And you were in it and directing.
In it, and I was second AD.
Cool.
So then from there, I started getting little like movie things. And then stand-up took me. It took me way longer than most people to find my voice with stand-up. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I bombed for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And then my first break, I would say, in comedy, was becoming friends with Lewis.
Nice.
And
yeah, how did that
we
happen?
started Realize Pod. We just met at like my first club weekend. And then he followed me on.
Where? You were opening for someone?
No, at a showcase show. And he was on the same show.
Okay, got it.
He had the same manager at the time.
As you or Jay?
As Jay.
Wayne.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then he messaged me out of the blue that he was going to start a new podcast, and he wanted me to be the producer.
Oh.
And I said, I have no technical skills.
Right.
And he's like, oh, well, just come on and be like on mic. And that's how Real Ass Podcast started.
Wow. I didn't know it was that swift.
That was 11 years ago.
Did he know that you were like Zac Attack, Zac, Quick Lines?
He said that he liked my Facebook jokes.
Really? Oh, you would post like little statuses
Yeah, I would
and
post
stuff?
like jokes.
Wow, cool.
And that started, and then at this time, I'm trying to do the time, I was a telemarketer. And I would always, whenever there was a roast on Comedy Central, I would write like 100 jokes for it for practice. And then
this was pre-Roast Masters and stuff,
yes.
right?
So then they announced the roast of Big J at the Creek.
Yep.
And I wrote like 100 jokes for it.
And you just told people I have jokes?
No, Lewis said, hey, do you have any jokes?
Cool.
And I said, I have 100 I can send you right now.
Right. Wow.
So I wound up writing for him, Sal Volcano, and Kumia.
Wow.
And, and Jay's wife. Me and Kurt wrote her set.
Cool.
And that was like my first writing thing.
That's when you met a bunch of people.
Yeah, that's when people found out I could write.
Yeah.
Because then people were like much nicer to me.
Okay, yeah. Yeah. And
then what I think is like the how my career happened. So then they start doing Roast Masters. I'm trying to get on it. They said, I wasn't a name enough yet to even do it.
Yeah, because at first Roast Masters was like
bigger people. So then this is when Lewis started dating Karen.
Peahen.
And he said, I want to put you up against Karen. But dude, she's gonna smoke you. Because she's friends with Micah Fox.
Famous
and Micah,
last words.
And Micah and her are gonna write. They're really gonna fucking murder you.
Right.
And I was basically put out like lamb to slaughter style.
Right. And what happened?
I don't think Karen quite understood that it was supposed to be funnier than mean.
Yeah. So she just called you a fat fuck.
So she led with mean, and it didn't take. And I just had the momentum, and it was like the blackest reaction I've ever gotten.
Didn't it go viral? Like, isn't the title of it like?
Okay, so this is how it went. This is how it went viral. So that happened, and then people are like, "Holy shit, Zach can do this." I go on Kumia, and Gavin McGinnis was there, who I do not like, and is not a good guy. And I was talking about my Prince Albert.
Yeah.
And Gavin goes, show us. So I took my dick out, And then that night on Reddit, somebody went, the fat kid that took his dick out on Kumia today did a roast against this hot girl. And the next day, it was the #1 video on Reddit.
No way.
And I was working nights.
That's amazing.
At MTV at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And me and my best friend watched the video go from like 2,000 views to 500,000 by the morning.
That's crazy.
And then 1 million the next day. And now I think it's like 6.5 million.
Insane. And that was now. That was socials being everywhere. So YouTube getting that much in what year? 2016 or something?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. Crazy. Was it a crazy feeling?
Yeah.
And did you notice a huge uptick in everything after that?
Yeah, that was when I think my name started being mentioned. And then
and you did more roasts after.
Yeah, then I won the first Roast Masters tournament. And Mike Lawrence really fucking Comedy Central, I do not think wanted to put me on the second season of Roast Battle, but Mike really fucking fought for me, and then I fucking lost really bad.
Against who?
Matt Broussard.
Oh, but it was good though, wasn't it? Wasn't it good back and forth?
I think.
But he does jokes that you're like, fuck you.
What?
Matthew does jokes that you're like, God damn it.
Yeah, but I had so the New York episode was me and Evan Williams, and that was really good.
Yes.
And that's how I wound up becoming friends with Norton. Mm-hmm. So that kind of got that going for me.
Why, was he a judge on it?
He was a judge on it. And he was like my hero, and I had never really gotten to talk to him. And that kind of got things moving for me.
Got it. Cool. And then you did Roast Masters.
Yeah.
All this Comedy Central. And then did you end up writing for the other roasts that happened? Like Alec Baldwin and
Nope. No, I submitted and never got it. The only ones I've written on is I wrote on Whitney's roast for OnlyFans, and I was a producer on a segment producer on the Burt roast.
Okay, what the heck? You should be in there.
I've helped people and I've submitted jokes, but I've never been on a writing staff for one of the real ones.
Yeah.
Or for one of the Comedy Central.
I've helped people. I've had the thing where the roast is a week out, and someone's like, Nikki wants your number.
Yeah.
Because, they're panicking.
Yeah. I get those sometimes.
Yeah, I'll get those too. But I started Roast Masters in like 2018, I think. So I had watched all of yours, and you went against Christy Cello.
Yep.
And you said Christy's comedy just goes in circles and circles, which is also how you could draw her body.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
It's like, damn, it's so funny.
Christy's act is a bunch of long stories that go in endless circles.
Yeah.
Endless circles is also how to draw a picture of Christy.
Yeah, it was jokes like that. I'd be like, damn, I have to replay them. I'm like, damn. One, Dina Hashem said one that was like insane.
Oh, the
road feature.
Yeah, unrecognizable. Whoever, I can't remember his name.
I don't even know his name.
His mom died in a motorcycle accident, so she died the way he lived his life, an unrecognizable road feature.
Insane. That shit. Your and hers were both like the two huge ones.
Yeah, those really tickled me.
Yeah, that's so funny. And now, Zach, what's going on like right now? 2025.
Just so we started morning. Lewis.
R.I.P. Lewis.
Lewis doing his own.
Lewis is
it was
out.
Lewis's time has gotten exponentially less.
He's touring a lot.
He's very busy. He's got a lot of shows.
Story Wars.
We were doing Lewis and Zach / Realize Podcast for 11 years. We were doing it 3 days a week.
Yes.
He moved to Jersey. It's very time consuming to do a 3-day-a-week show.
Oh, yeah.
We had a long talk about it. And we were either going to stop the show or the idea being that I took it over and changed the format a little. Mm-hmm. And that's what we decided to do.
Yeah.
So now I got Morning Zoo.
Yeah. And why don't you plug right? We'll do plugs right now.
Oh, fun. So I do 2 shows here on Gas Digital. Zac Amico's Morning Zoo, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And my Midnight Spook Show, which is my horror movie watch-along show. And that is Fridays at midnight. All here on Gas Digital. You can follow me on Instagram at ZachIsNotFunny. And for all my dates, you can go to punchup.live/Zac Amico, ZACAMICO.
That's Zac Amico. You can also catch me at punchup.live/Maddy Smith. I just added a freaking July 4th show. Why did I do that? Cleveland. Hilarity. See you on July 4th. I already got comments that are like, why would we go to a show on July 4th? I feel like people will. I think it'll be hot out.
That's right. I booked last year. I booked Chicago on Super Bowl Sunday.
That's good. That's fun.
That made me feel smart.
That's fun. Anytime, I went to Appleton, Wisconsin, Green Bay was playing on a Friday for some reason. There was got to be 12 people in the room.
The last time I did Cleveland, it was the NFL draft, and it was in Cleveland. It was
That's
2
great.
blocks away.
That's great. Yeah, you always get fucked with like Cleveland, Buffalo. If you're in town for a Bills game,
Yep.
don't even have it. Don't even do it. Ridiculous. Now, Zach, what do you think of the state of the world these days?
I don't think it's as bad as everybody says.
I know. I think once you get off the internet, it's a little less.
It's all sensationalism.
Elon and Trump hate each other now. I called that shit.
Yeah.
When they were buddies, I said, give it 6 months. Where are we? June 4th, 5th.
Does
Over.
he? I mean, I feel like most people Trump makes enemies out of.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
kind of his bit.
Yeah, he doesn't stay close with anyone.
Yeah.
I mean, his whole thing, his first presidency was a new administration every single day.
Yeah, and then he he turned on Pence.
Yep.
I guarantee you, unless they're trying to run Vance
Right.
after him,
Right.
he will dump on him. And
Yep.
and by the way, I'm not like the most anti-Trump guy. Like, I don't dig him.
Right.
That's not my bag. But also, I'm not incredibly political.
I'm kind
I
of
don't give a shit.
I'm kind of anti-Elon. Mostly
Yeah.
Because he's just like fucking up and coming in blowing shit up. I feel like that's the only bipartisan thing is that they don't like Elon up there.
Yeah, he makes me nervous, but I don't think things are as. I mean, I think it's mostly business as usual.
Yeah.
And just the media gives us what we want to eat.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like
I know.
they know what's getting clicks and what you want to consume. So if you want to be mad about trans people, they can give you stories about a fucking stabbing
Absolutely.
somebody to death.
Yeah, if you want to be mad about wokeness, Trump's like backing Indian mascots
Yeah.
for no reason. For no reason. He's talking about Massapequa or whatever in Long Island.
Or like somebody posted a thing the other day that I thought was really poignant. It was how 2 different stories can be shown. Like one was, I think a trans woman got in a fight and accidentally killed the guy and is going to jail.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, crazed trans woman stabs man to death.
Right.
And then it was the guy from King of the Hill, and it says voice actor killed after argument with neighbor.
Yeah.
Argument with neighbor. They burnt his house.
Mm-hmm.
Decapitated his dog,
Yes.
and murdered him in front of his husband.
Yeah.
I don't think that's an argument with my neighbor.
Yeah.
I think that is a planned homophobic,
I think that's bad headline writing.
but it's also sensationalized.
Absolutely. I know. You know what else is sensationalized? Jeff Garland. Jeff Garland did a club this weekend. They tried to give him an $800 check. He said, I don't take checks, and he left.
I've met him once, and he was nice.
Nice.
I met him when he was directing John Waters' one-man show.
Mm-hmm.
And he just happened to be in the lobby before while I was getting sat. And me and my friend said hello to him, and he was very kind.
Mm-hmm.
From people I know that have opened for him, have less than stellar reviews.
Really? I mean, this.
Chris Tinkle opened for him,
Okay.
and he refused to learn Chris's name.
Oh, wow.
He called him Opener.
Oh, wow.
This was the San Francisco Punchline.
Baller.
Was mean the whole weekend. Had his whole act on note cards, and forgot them in his jacket the one night.
No.
So he goes on the mic, Opener, I need my jacket.
Oh, my God.
Opener. And Chris wouldn't come on stage. He just put his arm out, and he
Yeah.
goes, Opener, bring me my jacket. And Chris just threw it at him.
Yeah, duh. Because they pay opener money from 1982. Why would you ever do that? Did you ever have any horror stories meeting celebrities?
Just wrestlers.
Oh, yeah.
And they're all just all old and mean and jaded.
Yeah.
And I get it. Like, if I was a old wrestler, like, the last person I want to meet is another fucking fat autistic guy.
Yay!
Yeah.
Why can't I have hot fans?
Yeah. Oh, trust me. I'm starting to get the same way.
Yeah, about your... Yeah.
How many more fat guys with beards do I need to meet?
Zach, you're the first guy I ever talked the way how I think.
Yeah, oh, fuck me, dude. I really should have. Ugh.
I feel like fans in general are ugly, though. Like, Dua Lipa has ugly fans.
Yeah, any obsessive.
Everyone in America's ugly.
Yeah.
That's what touring helped me with. I used to think I was ugly and fat. And you get out there, woo, I'm looking pretty good. Love going to Nebraska.
There's some cities. Vegas, I feel good.
Vegas, I feel good.
Vegas, I feel pretty good.
I feel good in Florida. I feel good in Ohio.
I'll tell you, if you wanna feel great, go to a wrestling show.
Mm-hmm.
I am a svelte, handsome, well-spoken man
Yes. Eloquent.
with excellent hygiene.
Eloquent. All of a sudden, he doesn't have a dick piercing.
Yeah.
What are your favorite supernatural monsters? What's your favorite, like, if you're watching a scary movie?
Oh,
What's your
okay.
favorite version of supernatural or favorite?
I thought you meant cryptids, so I was
What does
gonna
that
say
mean?
Bigfoot.
Oh, yeah, okay, that too. Just,
Oh, my favorite. I mean,
or in a movie or not. I like Bigfoot too.
Yeah. I am particularly fond of, and it's not super. I like home invasion movies. I think those are the scariest. But as far as ghosts and shit, I think it's always gonna be zombies.
Yeah, you like zombie stuff? Are you
There-
going to see 28 years later?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I just saw 28 Days Later.
It's so good.
I know I couldn't find it anywhere.
Yeah, and then like, I definitely, if I would say zombies are my favorite because I think a hot chick and zombie stuff really does it for me.
Yeah, like a hot chick acting like a zombie.
Yeah.
Biting
That's
your
like,
ass.
yeah, there's something real.
Mm-hmm.
I used to help with a zombie bar crawl,
Okay.
and we would do up hot girls for the ads and shit. and
Oh yeah.
yeah, that'll get you going.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty
That's pretty hot.
great.
And what's your plans for the summer? Are you gonna travel? You're gonna do more shows?
Doing a little bit of touring, and then what else do I got? I got 3 movies coming out, so I'm doing promotion for that, and then I'm on tour with Juggalo Championship Wrestling.
Let's go.
So I do commentary for Insane Clown Posse's wrestling company. So we tour with Insane Clown Posse.
Mm-hmm.
We do a wrestling show, then they break down the ring and do a concert.
That's pretty fucking sick.
So I'm back out on the road with them this month, then in July, and then Gathering of the Juggalos is in August.
That's cool.
And that one's gonna be tough. That's gonna be Tuesday through Sunday in the woods.
Okay. And do you wear makeup for that?
I put on shit for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then what do you do? You MC stuff and
Well, for that, I'll do the wrestling commentary. I did the Gathering last year. One night I did stand up. The next day I hosted the main stage, and the day after that I judged the Miss Juggalette beauty pageant.
oh, nice.
It was me and Jay,
Juggalette.
and for a murder clown rap festival in the woods, pretty easily offended crowd.
Really?
They felt I was mean to the women, and homophobic and transphobic.
Wow.
Yeah. Apparently, they did not like jokes about the contestant. I don't know why they would hire.
I didn't know they were.
They're
progressive.
very woke.
They are. I thought they would be more of an overlap with like a Kill Tony.
No,
Oh,
they
really?
do not care for it.
ICP is woke.
They're very, very stupid.
Okay, got it. Slow.
They
a
don't
little
get.
slower.
It's not that they're dumb. It's that I don't think they understand that you can joke about something and not mean it.
Yes,
Which I don't get because the band raps about murdering people and they're not murderers.
I know, right?
However, yeah, their fans can be a little knee jerk. So when we hosted the Miss Juggalette pageant, I had a few lines that I guess upset some people. So I do not think I'll be invited back to
Can
that.
you give us the lines?
One of the contestants was a trans woman.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say a trans woman, I mean very Marilyn Manson-y.
Yeah.
And her talent for the talent section was swallowing a long balloon.
Okay.
And I said the trick is getting it past the Adam's apple.
Yeah, that's great. That's great.
Which I don't think is that bad. That's a biology joke.
Yes.
And then one girl's talent was so ICP soda that their affiliate, not sponsored by, but they always talk about is Faygo,
Okay.
and it's a super cheap,
I've seen Faygo, right?
a super cheap, very sweet soda.
It's in the stores, right?
Some store, yeah. It's more like Detroit, Ohio.
Yes.
It's made in Detroit.
Okay.
That's why they like rep it.
Got it.
They throw it at all their shows. They cover people in Faygo.
Really?
Yeah, that's like their big
ICP's
thing.
from Detroit too.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about them.
Yeah, and then they in between songs have like giant like crates of Faygo, and they shake it up and spray
and they
the
can't
crowd.
handle an Adam's apple joke.
And they spray the crowd, and at the end, it's called the Faygo Armageddon, and all
Okay.
the fans go on stage and spray each other with soda.
Jeez.
It's pretty fun. They use diets because it comes out easier.
How did you get involved with ICP stuff? Were you always a fan? And
I've
Jay
been a
and
fan
Louis?
for a long
Did you
time.
get in with Jay or
No, I actually so I saw their movie when I was a kid, and I thought it was the funniest thing I've ever. Big Money Hustlers. I do still think it's a top tier comedy.
Is their movie like a mockumentary kind of?
No,
Or-
it's a fake blaxploitation movie with them.
Okay, so it's like Spice World.
Yes, it's very funny, and I had always said I wanted to do The Gathering, and then I wound up meeting Violent J, the one I'm friends with, through Ralph through SDR,
Oh, okay, yeah.
and then he came to Skankfest and did Spook Show, and we hit it off. We got along right away, and I didn't know he was gonna be there, and I had a Hatchet their logo on.
Was this pre-2020?
This was the first Vegas,
Oh, okay, yeah, a couple few years ago.
and
That's
he
when you
wound
first
up,
met him?
yeah, and he
Oh,
wound
cool.
up just being super cool, and then they hired me to do The Gathering. At that, their announcer didn't show up for the wrestling, so they asked me and Big J to do it. Well, they asked Big J to do it, really.
Right.
And Big J said, I don't know dick about wrestling.
Yeah.
Zach loves wrestling.
Yeah, have him.
So the two of us did it. Then their announcer wound up leaving the company, or excuse me, their commentator. And a couple months, like I want to say like January, Violent J texted me, and he was like, hey, would you want to do commentary for a couple shows? And then they wound up hiring me full time.
That's awesome. What's with the ICP wrestling overlap? Is that just
They were backyard wrestlers
Oh,
before they were
wow.
rappers.
I don't know shit about them. I don't
And
know shit
then
about them.
they were never on TV.
Okay.
Their albums were like banned from certain stores. Like
For why? Because they scream
violence
about,
and-
about murder
yeah,
and stuff?
yeah.
Okay.
And they have been in every wrestling company. Like they've shown up in every wrestling company as like managers or part of
wow.
a story.
Wow.
So they were in WWF when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And then all the other, they've always kind of, and then they have their own company.
Did you wrestle when you were younger?
I was on real wrestling. Yes,
yeah.
I was on the high school wrestling team.
But not like, real.
No, and then I got into wrestling like 6 or 7 years ago through another company. Brought me in as like a manager, so I did wrestle a few matches.
Really?
Oh yeah. I've had a few matches.
Wow, cool.
And by had matches, I mean got my ass kicked.
Yeah.
Very minimal training, but I'm terrible, but I can get hit with things.
Yeah. You don't feel it as much?
No, I do. I just get back up.
Okay, yeah.
And
yeah.
so yeah, I've been involved with wrestling for like 6 or 7 years. So I fit right in once they signed me, and then yeah, I've been on tour with them ever since.
Wow, that's so cool.
It's like a week a month,
Yeah.
but it's really, really fun.
Do they pay well?
No,
Wow, Zach.
they do. They pay fairly.
Yeah.
It's not like lucrative. It's also not a lucrative thing. Like we're the opening act.
Yes.
Like I understand
Yeah.
that. Like I shouldn't get paid a lot
Yeah.
for it. They cover everything.
Yeah. It's great.
I'm well taken care of.
Yeah. It's
and
fun.
I love it. So
It's fun.
I don't care.
Yeah. Zach, this is so cool. You're so cool. You do.
No, I just do a lot of dumb shit.
No, but you freaking you know what you want from the beginning. It feels like, and you go into that.
I've fallen backwards into everything I love,
Yes.
which was horror movies, comedy, and wrestling, and just in that order, I've become a part of all those things. So
Yeah.
I'm just more really lucky, and I've always said that like people are like, how you must work hard, you must be talented. Like, no, I just show up.
Right. Do you do?
It's just being there.
Do you do any self-care? Any self-care? Do you meditate? Do you do manifesting? Do you?
From therapy, yeah, I actually do. I do meditate at night, and I have mantras I like to listen to,
Okay.
and
And the mantras are like, you deserve abundance and success and blah blah blah.
yeah.
I do those too.
Yeah, I like those a lot.
Yeah.
And then what else? I've been working on stuff with my therapist to like deal with my panic attacks. I've been on Zoloft for about a year now.
Let's go. Let's go.
Shout out,
So
shout out, sertraline,
Caroline's on
the
that?
generic Zoloft.
Caroline's on that. I was on Lexapro, no longer though. But similar
But yeah,
things.
that's pretty much the extent of.
Yeah.
I do my mantras at night. I try and play. I go, hey Alexa, play ethereal electronic music.
Okay. Yeah. Well.
And
Some
that's it.
instrumental.
Yeah, and then sometimes I have they're like projectors, but they project like stars and like swirls and shit. And I'll make my whole room like space.
Yeah. You sit
And
there.
maybe sometimes take a little edible or maybe even something stronger.
Right.
And go away for 8 hours or so.
Oh, 8 hours.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
maybe a little every once in a while, because it did get a little bad during the pandemic. A little mushroom skis.
You're getting too many shrooms in the. Yeah.
Miss Amico had to have a talk with me
Oh,
in the pandemic because I think I had walked into the bedroom one morning and went, "I've been in a different dimension for 1,000 years," and she goes, "Honey, have you done shrooms 3 times this week?" And I was like, "Yeah." I don't gotta get up.
The fuck is the problem?
So there was an era at Gas Digital that we refer to as the Malls era, where we were getting really good Molly. And then that turned into somebody was making pills that were half Molly, half psilocybin mushroom.
Ooh.
And those were going around.
That sounds fire.
A lot.
Yeah, happy pill.
And they were great because it was a microdose of mushrooms and a small dose of Molly.
Yeah.
And there's an episode of Legion of Skanks. If you have a Gas Digital subscription, it's the last night at the Creek in the Cave. And it's like a 3-hour episode. It was after the Creek had already closed in Astoria.
It was like 2020.
Yeah.
Like
it was right.
COVID.
It was right as it was closed. They had already closed for business.
Yes.
And we did an episode in a closed club. And you watch everyone get handed something.
Yeah.
And then by the end of the episode, me and Lewis no joke. This is how me and Lewis are at the end of the podcast. Bring your head over to me.
Yeah.
We're podcasting like this.
Oh, that's so cute. Did you give audience members a?
Oh, everybody was
nice.
Everybody was wrecked. We left at like 5 a.m. And then one guy, we're like, "Where are you going?" He goes, "Oh, I don't know. I'm homeless." And we went, "How'd you get here?" He's like, "Well, I just walked in with you guys. I've never heard of this podcast before."
That's hilarious.
He just hung out all night because he saw there was free drinks.
That's great. That's the homeless thing to do. Just walk in. That's great. Well, Zach, thank you so much for coming to the Madhouse. I had a great time.
I'm sorry if I was pontificating too much.
What? No, it's fire. People are always like, this was so good. I love hearing just two people low-key just talking.
Well, that's awesome. Thank you so much for having me. I love you very much, and I think you're incredibly funny.
I love you very much, too. And thank you. And I'll be on the Zach's Morning Zoo probably in the next blah, blah, blah. Shannon's always texting me. And you can catch Zach, punchup.live/Zac Amico. And we'll see you guys next week on the Madhouse. Gas Digital.